Some breaking news this morning that we teed up last hour. John Solomon from Just the News, right here every night, 6 p.m. Eastern, with Amanda Head. He's got a breaking story. The Pentagon first raised the possibility of sending National Guard troops to the Capitol 4 days before the January 6th riots, setting in motion a series of rejections by the Capitol Police and Democrats that left Congress vulnerable as threats of violence were rising. That, according to government memos that John has obtained, that validate Trump administration officials' long-held claims. Real quick, an official timeline of the January 6th tragedy assembled by Capitol Police shows that a Defense Department official, remember, a defense official from the Trump administration at the time, reached out to the Capitol Police. Sean Gallagher was the deputy chief on January 2nd, Karen, 4 days before January 6th.
Trying to get ahead of what could potentially be a problem. Trying to get ahead of it.
To put in a request for troops, to basically see if there was a request, because the Pentagon's the one that could provide the National Guard troops.
And who didn't pay attention to that request?
The offer, Karen, was quickly rejected after a consultation with the then Chief of Capitol Police, Steve Sund, who reports to the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Shawn Farash, what does this breaking story tell you, number one, about the problems Democrats have on January 6th in terms of their failures? And secondly, do you think any of this will see the light of day tonight in these primetime hearings?
Well, of course, none of it is going to see the light of day in the primetime hearings because it destroys the narrative. It's just like fiery but mostly peaceful protests. You know, we hear about riots being bad at the Capitol, but they're not bad in Minneapolis or in Wisconsin or any of these places, you know, Ferguson, Georgia. Now, riots are okay there. They're fiery but mostly peaceful. You're not going to see this take or see the light of the day. You're not going to see this, you know, become something that, you know, anyone wants to talk about because it absolves Trump of blame. It shows that Donald Trump and his administration were going out there trying to prevent what was, you know, rumored to maybe happen on January 6th. And for the liberals, you know, 4 days before January 6th, that's January 2nd, okay? So 4 days before January 6th, January 2nd, for those of you who struggle with math, because we know that's a problem for them, that's the issue that we're having here. 4 days before we knew there was going to be a protest, this administration, the Trump administration, was saying, you know, maybe we should get it ready. We've seen what happens when large people and large crowds gather in Washington, D.C. We want to make sure there's no violence. And Nancy Pelosi told his guy no.